Greetings guys, and thank you for tuning in to another video. With us today we have the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Arizona himself, Jesse Scheel.
Mr. Arizona, you got it right.
Yes, I did. This is going to be a static video, but as you can tell by the title of the video, we are going to be doing Jesse's very first interview / Q&A. Correct me if I'm wrong, very first.
On the YouTube channel for sure.
Very first on the YouTube channel. Jesse, how nervous are you about this?
I'm freaking out. Like, I'm shaking here, guys. I'm just kidding, I'm not shaking.
Now, to confirm to our viewers, you have no idea what questions you're about to get asked.
Nope, I honestly don't. He hasn't shown me anything. This is all coming out of left field for me.
Left field indeed. Now, some of this is going to be actually kind of standard in terms of the types of questions that you would expect. Some of it is going to be fun. Some of the questions are going to be hypothetical questions, true and false questions, would you rather type questions, and we'll see what Jesse's going to say. Now, if you are coming to my channel from Jesse's channel, thank you for coming, and
make sure you subscribe to him, guys, if you're coming from my channel.
And appreciate that. Thank you so much if you do. And if you are not coming from Jesse's channel, this is Jesse Scheel. Link to his channel is going to be in the description below. Go check him out. Coolest dude that you will see on YouTube, as I've mentioned before, making some awesome content, useful content, and at the same time very entertaining content, if I may add so myself.
Oh, appreciate that.
Now, for Jesse's long-term subs or awesome subs, we'll say, they already know that he is not originally from Arizona. So we'll start simple, Jesse. Why don't you give us a little bit of background about where you actually grew up, how you ended up in Arizona, and a little bit of the backstory there.
Yeah, I'll try and keep it short, but basically grew up in Fergus Falls, Minnesota, this tiny little town. Basically, the first 30 years of my life were spent there. Winters are brutal, like absolutely brutal. I was there last week. It was negative 20, and it snowed like over a foot, which is a lot of snow for this time. It's bad there. All right, let me just say that. So I got sick of the weather. I needed to get out of there, and at the time I was working healthcare. There was a job down here in the field that I was in. I got the offer. Obviously, they relocated me down here for free. I was like, yeah, it was like November when I got the job, and I was like, anything to not go through, winter in Minnesota again. Took the job down here 7 years ago now. Been here ever since. Don't regret anything about it. Would do it again in a heartbeat. Love Arizona. Absolutely love it. Like, hey, you've been here, what, 4 hours, 5 hours? What do you think?
Yeah. It's hard to beat what Jesse just said right there. This is true.
It's January 6th. I don't have shoes on the top of a carport. We're watching as the sun go down over the mountains in the west right now.
This is true. What is it? January 6th today? 6th. And we had our feet in the pool earlier today.
Yep. That's
how awesome this place is indeed. Thank you, Jesse. Now, you've talked about this before on your channel, so your subscribers may already have a pretty good understanding of this, but can you give us a little bit of a brief overview of why you started YouTube?
Yeah, about 3 years ago. This will be the start of the third year of the channel, so it's basically been 2 full years. So 2.5 years ago, I was watching a ton of YouTube, way too much YouTube. I think we all do it, right? But I was watching so much, like my wife's like, hey, you're watching too much YouTube. And I was like, all right, I need to stop watching YouTube. It'd be fun to do. It'd be fun to make videos on YouTube. And then I had watched a few where guys were kind of explaining the tax benefits to, having a car channel, because I've always been a car guy. And, I wanted to get back into cars at the time. I had been kind of out of the game for a little bit. And I started looking into the tax incentives basically, and I was like, this makes a lot of sense. Even if the channel were to tank, I could still write off all of my cars, against my commissions in my real estate business. I'm a realtor outside of YouTube, so that was one of the main reasons I got going, and that's kind of the main reason I still go. Like, it's nice to have a few subscribers nowadays and whatnot, but at the end of the day, I love being able to write the cars off against my commission as opposed to just like blindly spending money on cars and never seeing any returns. So that was kind of the main reason. I hope I answered the question there.
Sure, absolutely. And for anybody who's listening, you can learn from Jesse in that regard, actually, in terms of if you're interested in doing something similar with cars or anything else potentially that is going to be viewable on YouTube.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, speaking of you being obviously into cars kind of all your life, you recently actually made a video on your channel of all of the cars you've ever owned, and you gave some nice backstories of those vehicles, which was neat. So this next question has a bit to do with that.
Okay.
So this is a hypothetical question. So if all of those cars that you mentioned in that video were still yours and we're here behind us now,
Yeah.
and we're on the edge of a cliff, and you only had time to jump in one and drive away from that dangerous cliff that's rumbling down to destruction,
Yeah.
which one are you jumping into and driving away into the sunset with?
This sounds bad, but this kind of will give you guys an insight to the way my head works. I would probably grab the one that was worth the most money, although it would be very hard to walk away from the Z, and honestly the Eclipse too. The Eclipse might actually be the one worth the most money. That Saturn Ion Redline I had, 45,000 miles on it, you know, that one might actually pull a decent money today. I'm not sure. If I could only have one, money's out of the question. I'm taking the Z.
You're driving with one away.
I'm
Only
sorry.
one away.
I'm taking the Z then. But if I had time and like I could buy cars after the fact, I would take the one that was worth the most. And I think that would either be the Redline with the low miles it had on, or honestly, like, despite what the DSMers might think, I think this Eclipse is actually worth a decent amount of money right now.
I'll agree with you. I'm a Z guy, if you guys from my channel know, hence why I have my own 350Z, which is somewhat similar to Jesse's 350Z actually. But I was just telling Jesse earlier, today when I came, which is obviously my first time being here on this beautiful rooftop where Jesse films a lot of videos, and I was telling him how impressed I was actually with the Eclipse in real life. I don't think the videos actually do it enough justice, to be honest.
She's a honey. She's beautiful. A little temperamental, but like in like, compared to most DSMs out there, like if you just go look at DSM content on YouTube right now, most of them aren't running.
Yeah.
Right. And like this one, I would drive this across country today. It would idle funny at startup, but other than that, it's going to go wherever I want it to go. So
get you where you need to. And then to piggyback off that question, since you have a rich history of owning so many vehicles and always being a car guy and doing car things, in terms of a fun question, and I don't actually know if you'll disclose the true answer to this, but what would you say is the dumbest, not necessarily most dangerous thing, but dumbest thing you've ever done in a vehicle? Doesn't mean you regret it.
Well, and like instantly my head went somewhere, but then dumbest thing is like, well, it should be dangerous, right? So like the dumbest thing I do danger-wise would be going on those canyon runs out, and I'm gonna take you on one tomorrow. But like legitimately, there are corners where if that tire goes or the wheel falls off, like you could be going down the canyon.
I'm gonna say I'm actually pretty excited though.
Yeah, I think it's probably safer than that, but that's probably the dumbest. And depending on the speeds you're going, like if you're just mellow about it, whatever. But another thing that popped into my head was when I had my Trans Am, the dumbest thing I've ever done, not danger-wise, was in like March or April or May, it was May actually. May, it was raining. I drove my car into a park, and this is like a prom thing, right? Parked it there with a girl, not my wife, unfortunately. Hopefully she's not watching this. But we didn't do anything bad. I danced with her in the park. I turned our song on loud in the car, and it's already late. Like it's like 1 a.m, post prom, 2 a.m. We get the car stuck. I have to go wake up her dad, mom, and aunt with her at 2 a.m. to tell them I got the car stuck in the middle of a park at prom night. So like you can imagine what went through their head, and I swear nothing happened. but that was probably the dumbest thing I ever did.
I did not know that story.
Yeah. And then we couldn't get it out. We went to go push it out, and we couldn't get the dang thing out. My dad had to come the next day with his Jeep and pull it out. So like it was.
Wow. Okay. moving on, and we'll keep up with a little bit of the car-related questions before we switch gears. Through any of the car modifications that you have ever done on any of the cars, not necessarily the two that are in the pack and the two that are behind us right now, what would you consider the best mod that you've ever done? And when I say best, kind of in terms of biggest
Bang for
your buck, or the one that was most worth it to you in terms of what it gave you back.
I don't think there's ever been a better purchase than the exhaust on the 350Z and that would include all of it, the high flow cats Y pipe into the ISR exhaust. It's not that expensive, and honestly, the catback and Y pipe itself, you could probably get away with just that, but the high flow cats add just a little bit extra to it. And I mean, I had a pretty sweet exhaust on the Trans Am as well, but I got buried in that car, and I think I've said it before on the channel. I resent that car for how buried I got in it. This one I'm doing fine on. I think that was the best bang for the buck mod ever, is the exhaust on the 350Z.
And I will confirm it. That exhaust sounds absolutely amazing. Now I might be biased, but I'm telling you, it is amazing.
It's good
absolutely
stuff.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's good stuff. And it's not even the most expensive exhaust for the car. Like, it's one of the cheaper
true.
ones.
That's true. Absolutely.
So, yeah.
I'm gonna snag one.
You got to. You need it.
Now, next question. From all of your, and this might be difficult because you have a lot of videos out. You're into the hundreds now, but, and I don't know if you necessarily have one on the top of your head that you'll be able to pick, but what would you say was your best / your personal favorite video that you've made?
I know that right away. My personal favorite video I ever made was doing donuts while eating donuts on National Donut Day. It's not a popular video on the channel. It probably has 300-400 views right now. It's not good view-wise, but how much fun I had making it, and like what I learned that day with the car was like, I left it being like, wow, I can actually do a continuous donut now, and like that's kind of progressed into like the height or the shenanigans that you see on the channel now, where I'm doing donuts and whipping it sideways and stuff. So that was probably that was maybe not my favorite, but my most fun to film.
See, that's not the one I thought you would pick. Do you know which one I thought you'd pick? The Mustang video.
Oh, no. No, the Mustang video is the most brutal video. The GT350s. There's no GT350 owners watching this, but if there was, get a new car. You overpaid.
And that was obviously a joke. So we're going to finish up with a couple of kind of fun questions here. One of the questions, well, actually, we'll kind of lead into this question a little bit. Real quick, if you had to pick a favorite food.
Boy, I'm a foodie, so like it's hard to go favorite. Man, between sushi, pizza, taco. I've got a new love for tacos now. Tad, the guy who's been in the last couple of videos, kind of introduced the taco world to me, like the legitimate taco. What you eat at Taco Bell and Taco John's and stuff. Those aren't tacos. So, man, my favorite food. Pass. I don't know. Like
Too many.
Too many,
All
man.
right. Well, that's actually
many.
good. That's actually a good answer, because this is a hypothetical, or this is a would you rather question.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you're ready for this would you rather question.
I'm ready.
All right. So this is it. Would you rather go 1 month with a vegan diet or 1 month without your guns?
Oh, I mean, I'll be fine without the guns. Which one would I rather do? Have a month without the guns, or have a month on the vegan diet?
Correct.
I mean, flip coin. I'll go vegan for a month. I've done it for probably about that long before. So, I mean, after everyone watches Game Changers and goes vegan for 2 weeks, the Netflix documentary or whatever. So, I mean, I could do vegan for a month, or I mean, I only have one gun in the house right now anyway. So, in the one that I'm staying in. So,
See, for whatever reason, I spent a lot of time preparing this question in particular.
you're like, this guy can't live without his guns.
I thought this question was gonna have you pondering for a long time.
No, I'm good, man. I'm good
All
either way.
right.
I don't plan on shooting anyone or anything anytime soon. It's just sort of a security piece, so I could live without it probably and just have a baseball bat or whatever.
All right, we'll take it. Next question is a true or false question.
Okay.
There are some rumors out there on the internet, I'm not going to tell you where they came from, that you use women's shampoo? True or false?
That's false. But if the question was rephrased, you use women's conditioner, I would say true.
I mean, that hair obviously needs some maintenance.
You gotta nourish the curls, man.
You gotta nourish the curls.
They don't nourish themselves.
I like that. And before this video gets too lengthy, we're gonna kind of finish it off. We're gonna ask kind of the final question, and this one will end on a little bit more of a serious note. So Jesse, if there was one thing that you want your subscribers, your viewers to know about you, what would that one thing be?
I mean, honestly, like, not to get all cheesy on you guys, I don't mention it on my channel a whole lot, but I'm a Christian man at the end of the day. Like, I serve the one and only true God. Whether that resonates with you or not, I'm sorry. But if you only knew one thing about me, if I died tomorrow, like, I just want you to know that I was a Christian, and I hope I had some kind of impact on your life at some point. And if I didn't, no worries, but hope you enjoyed watching the channel, but that would be the one thing, so.
Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, if you have any questions for either one of us, just drop a line down below and we'll be sure to get back to you. We hope you enjoyed this particular video where we just kind of sat around and talked to you so that you can learn a little bit more about the man behind the camera, Mr. Jesse Scheel himself.
Thanks for
See you
watching.
later.